Hello and welcome to this video. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. You're looking at a daily chart of Bitcoin. As you can see that Bitcoin had a massive run up already in the last a couple of weeks. So let's talk about what we can expect to see in Bitcoin. So I've got lines drawn. These are the levels. You can see that Bitcoin had a massive run up here. It has now gone through this level. This was the high from September of 2022. It has gone to the next level right here, which is around 23,400, and you can see a little bit of rejection there. So after such a powerful run up, the question is whether we can expect to see some pullback. So if I look at the momentum indicators as well, so there's no doubt that this is quite strong. If you look at the momentum indicators on a daily basis, you can see MACD is moving higher. It's above the zero line, so this is positive. You can see RSI is also moving higher, but I can see that RSI is beginning to show some sign of weakness. You can see that RSI, as after this consolidation, price made a higher high, RSI didn't, only because it is way overbought. RSI rose as high as 90. I mean, these are extreme overbought condition. So let's have a look at on a weekly basis, just to see what sort of pattern we are seeing. So this is the weekly chart. On a weekly chart, if I just zoom out, you can see that the weekly candle is looking, it's a bullish looking candle. It's happening on top of the previous weekly candle. Also, you can see that on a weekly basis, it formed like a W pattern or a double bottom pattern, and it has taken out this highs, the previous highs from here. So this is definitely a positive weekly pattern. I've got some weekly levels to look out for. So obviously this is an important level right here, which looks like we may close above it. If Bitcoin close above this level, that would be positive. But the level I'm watching is this one, which is around 25,500. If it's able to close above this, I'm not saying that it will do so this week, but in coming weeks, because this is a weekly chart, then what's going to happen is that this is going to take out this this high from August, and that would be a bullish statement. Now, if I look at the momentum indicators just to see what I see, on a weekly basis, I can see that RSI has been moving higher, very strong move. This is the RSI 50 level. It has gone above the 50 level. That's positive. It just needs to hold, make sure that it stays above the 50 level, because you can see previously it had gone above 50, but then it fell right back. So it needs to stay above the RSI 50 level, which would make RSI positive on a weekly basis. Now, if you look at the MACD is still below the zero line. It is moving higher. You can see that it is moving higher, but this is the zero line right here. We need MACD to go above the zero line for MACD to be positive on a weekly basis, and that has a big that's going to be quite important, because if both momentum indicators like RSI and MACD are positive, then we can expect to see sustained move higher. At the moment, they are not. One isn't positive, the other one is not. So it's kind of mixed. When you have a situation like this, then rallies can fade. So that's why we need to make sure that this continues to move higher. And once it goes above the zero line, then there would be greater confidence that this rally probably is going to have legs. If we look at the monthly chart quickly, just to see on a monthly basis, I'm just going to hide some of the drawing and bring in the moving averages. You'll see that the monthly candle is looking quite bullish. This is a bullish looking monthly candle, but we still have a number of days before the month is over. That's worth noting. The other thing you'll notice is that at the moment, despite the run up, Bitcoin remains below the monthly 20 and 50 moving averages. So it needs to get back above these moving averages, because you can see right here, when they're above the moving averages, then you're more likely to see positive outcomes. But if they remain below the moving averages, then these moving averages could act as dynamic resistance. So that's one thing to note. The other thing is that if you look at the monthly RSI is still below the 50 level. So that is negative from a monthly perspective, and you can see on a monthly basis MACD continues to move lower. So it doesn't look like it has completed its correction yet, because what we want to see is that MACD stop falling, cross, and then move higher, like something like this. If MACD were to do something like this, then you can see sustained monthly green candles. So yes, things are looking better, because you can see the candle is looking bullish, but you want to see it get back above the monthly 20 and 50 moving averages. You want to see RSI on a monthly basis get back above the 50 level, and you want to see MACD stop falling. And when that happens, then we can expect to see sustained move to the upside. But so far, don't get me wrong, this is a good start. So looks like on a weekly and monthly basis, there's still some work to be done, but at least on a daily basis, things are looking much better, because you can see that it has a huge run up, momentum is increasing. Now, if we look at in a smaller time frame, so let's look at a 4-hour basis. You can see that after this consolidation, it made a higher high, but MACD hasn't made a higher high, and neither did RSI. You can see RSI is right here. The previous RSI high was here. So you might say that there is a negative divergence building on a smaller time frame. Even if you look at on a 2-hour basis, you can see that RSI has not reached this previous level, and you could see that, but it remains in overbought territory. So these are, this is an indication that maybe we could have some pullback. And pullback is not a bad thing. Pullbacks, as long as they are contained, could be a good thing, because after such a big run up, you want it to rest and consolidate and let the momentum indicators kind of reset themselves for the next leg up. Because if it goes up too fast, too quickly, then it could also come down very quickly. So what are the levels we should be watching out for? Okay, let's discuss the levels. So let's look at the 2 hours so we can see the levels. So this is an important level right here, which is around 22,800. So that would be the first level. If that level is breached, then the next area of support would be around here, which is around 22,150. And then obviously this level, this is the breakout level. You can see that there were a number of interactions on a 2-hour basis at this level. So this would be, say 21,600, something like that. So those would be the levels I would look at if there is any further, if there is any pullback. Now resistance would be this line right here. You can see that there is a wick right here. There was a rejection. So this is basically 23,400. So if that level gets taken out, then I would basically, next target would be around 24,000, which is this. So each of these levels would act as support and resistance. So if I just zoom out, you can see the levels. So this is where there was a rejection from this candle. I'm now on a daily basis. So this is 23,400. So this would be the near-term resistance. So if this level gets taken out, then I would be looking for a move to 24,000. The near-term support is this one, 22,800, and then this one, which is around 22,150, that level. So those would be the levels to look out for. But daily chart momentum is looking strong, but there is some negative divergence building on a smaller time frame. So that suggests that we could see some consolidation, maybe something like this, or even some pullback. which is not necessarily a bad thing. But overall, I can see that the momentum is moving higher. So daily chart looks good. The weekly and the monthly need some work, but so far so good. Let's look at Ethereum just to see what's happening there. So this is the daily chart, so I'll magnify so you can see the levels right here. So you can see that it had gone up to this level right here, which is 1675-ish thereabouts, and you can see that there's some rejection happening at that level. Now, if there is a pullback, the first level to look out for is 1610 thereabouts, and then additional support would be around 1550. Now, resistance, if it's able to get through this level, resistance would be around 1735 and followed by around 1800. Now, if I look at the momentum indicators, you can see MACD is rising, so this is positive. But you can see RSI is beginning to show some weakness, because you can see that it had gone up during this part, but during this part RSI hasn't, it's making a lower high. So I would be a little bit watchful. So if I look at a smaller time frame, like 4-hour basis, you can see that price has made a higher high, but MACD remains below the previous high, and so is RSI. So I can see some divergence, negative divergence building on a smaller time frame, and this is understandable because it had such a strong run up from here. It was around 1200 as early as end of December, and then it's now at almost 1700. So it had a huge run up in the last 3 weeks or so. So if we look at the smaller time frame, you can see how the negative, you can see RSI is making a lower high, so that's telling me that it needs to consolidate, either do that or pull back. So as I said, the levels are 1615-ish, and then around 1550. So those would be the levels I would look out on any pullback. And on the resistance side, if it's able to get through, what level is this? This is 16. It's almost 1700. Then you're looking at 1730, and then 1800. If we look at the weekly chart quickly, just to see what do we see. So I'll hide the drawings so we can see. You can clearly see that this could be viewed as a higher low, which is positive, and it was making a weekly lower high, and that looks like it will be invalidated. So this could very well be a weekly higher low, which is positive. If I look at the moving averages, just to see where it is in relation to, you can see that it's now gone through the weekly 20 moving average. This is the weekly 50 EMA, so that's still to be taken out, but it's at least looking better. If I look at the momentum indicators, you can see that RSI has gone above 50, which is similar to Bitcoin, but MACD is yet to cross above the zero line. It's moving in that direction. You can see that it's moving in that direction. So it's making progress. But it's not flashing a full-scale buy signal yet, because one of the momentum indicators is positive, the other one is not. When that happens, sometimes what could happen is that we could see the rally fade. So while it's looking good, but you want to be a little bit cautious, because you want to see the MACD cross above the zero line. If that happens and both the momentum indicators are positive, generally good things happen. If you look at right here, you can see right here from this point to this point, you can see weekly RSI was above the zero line, and MACD was also above weekly RSI was above the 50 level, and MACD was above the zero line, and you can see price had a good run up. So right now we have one of the momentum indicators in positive territory, the other one is not yet, but it is making progress. So if this continues to go above the zero line, and both of them are in positive territory, then we can expect to see sustained move to the upside. So this is looking heading in the right direction, but hasn't yet issued a full-scale buy signal. But the daily pattern definitely looks very encouraging, but on a short-term basis, I think there is a opportunity for some consolidation or for some pullback. Watch these levels. Well, thank you very much for watching the video. I'll come back with an update in the next couple of days. Thank you.